And then I called this one guy. I used your script. Hey, this is so-and-so. You own so-and-so 1235 Main Street. Do you want to sell your house? Yes. And I was like, what? How much you want to sell it for? He was like, 40,000. And I had it in my comps. I needed it at 50. So he was already below what I wanted. I'm just like, so I'm looking at my paper. I'm listening. I'm like, this is perfect. And he was like, are you a scammer? I'm like, no, sir. He was an older gentleman, maybe in his late 60s. Owned a bunch of property. Did my DocuSign, sent it to him. Took him a week to sign because he didn't know how to work the laptops. He had to go get his son to do it for him. So that was a process. I already had buyers waiting. So I didn't have to go find a buyer or nothing like that. I sent him the buyer the deal for $60,000. So I made $20,000 on my first deal.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Hello guys, this is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today we have a young man out of Nashville, Tennessee, and he's here to share his story on how he got started wholesaling real estate. And he and I have been communicating for probably a couple of months now, trying to put this together. And so here we are today. I'm glad he was able to fit this in with us and to get started. So how's it going, Will?
It's going pretty good. Weather out here in Nashville is pretty decent now. Still a little cold outside though.
Oh, really? Okay. I think it's 70 degrees here today. I've been locked up in this office all day today / studio, I guess. So yeah, man. So what I like to do is sort of get some background before we get into, your deals and, what you've done there, because most people like that journey because a lot of them experiencing the same thing. So if you can give us an idea, number one, what were you doing before? Well, who were you before real estate? Let me just say that, a better way of saying it. So what were you doing before?
So before real estate, I was a typical athlete, played high school basketball. I played college basketball at Tennessee State University. Okay. And I played overseas for a little bit in Dominican Republic and Germany. Then I got into education because I hurt my ankle and different stuff. And I just did like little business try as far as drop shipping, Amazon, stuff like that. So that's what I was doing before I got into wholesaling.
All right, interesting. Okay. All right. What position you played? Just out of curiosity.
Point guard.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. All right. So what's the timeline on that as far as when you discovered wholesaling? Boom. I had to share this with you guys. Wouldn't it be amazing if you had a tool that would allow you to, number one, access cash buyers' phone numbers on properties that you're targeting? Know where are they buying? What buyers were willing to pay, which will allow you to negotiate smarter with motivated sellers. So guess what? I have the tool for you that I'm going to show you, a 1-minute demo that's going to change the game for you. So let's get right to it. So we have an address ready to go. Let's do the search. Boom. So it pulls up 47 results here. So not only can you see what they actually paid for these different properties, which gives you a leg up when negotiating with sellers to know, hey, I'm close, or I need to negotiate lower, or we're so far off with the seller that they're in la-la land on selling their property to make it a wholesale deal. To the right here, you see their actual phone numbers and the actual owner's name. Sometimes it's in a business name. Now, I have this blurred out because YouTube would probably take this video down because this information is that powerful. So as you can see, you can do this search. You have a lot of options here on the number of miles you can stretch out. Also, the number of years you can go back as far as the transactions and the different types of properties you can target. Along with, you can select flippers and landlords at the same time, or you can do them individually. So I know you want to change the game. So to access this tool, so text the word bank, B-A-N-K, to 205-964-5243. Now back to the video.
So I discovered wholesaling maybe 2.5 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago, I was on TikTok and I saw this guy just Make $40,000
before COVID,
after COVID.
Okay, all right, cool. Go ahead.
After COVID, maybe
That's
like right the tail end of it.
Yeah, that's how we reference things now. Before, after. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It was just some guy trying to promote a course, and I'm like, my first thought, obviously, this got to be a scam. This don't make no sense. I didn't really get into it, and then my friend, he's like, you don't ever go get into the wholesaling space, and I'm like, man, I think it's a scam. But he kept encouraging me, and I saw your video.
Okay.
I was like, it made more sense. You kind of broke it down. I'm like, okay. And then I think I got into the wholesaling secrets thing, and then I finally chose to invest in myself, and I got in your course, and then boom. Okay. Yep.
All right. Okay. So do you? So was that? So 2.5 years ago, it would have been 2 years ago. It was. So that was in 2021.
The end of 2021.
Okay. All right. So once you somewhat educated yourself or whatever on the process, do you remember when you actually took action, when you actually did something? Because a lot of people, they say, I bought this person course, that person course. That's their way of doing of action. Now that ain't action. You just in a conundrum of educating yourself or whatever. So when did you actually do something? What did you do first?
I can't remember the month I got your course. It's been a while, but whenever that month I got your course, I was trying to speed through it. You was like, no, you got to go through the different modules.
Yeah.
And so I want to say from the time of getting in your course to taking action, maybe 2 weeks. Once I got enough information from the course, I was like, it's time to get active.
So you didn't know I had all the stuff here on YouTube? You didn't know that?
I did look at some of that. So
okay, all right.
So to give that timeline more of so when I first saw your video, I guess I kind of went through your videos for about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks.
Okay.
Before I got in the course.
Mm-hmm. So you went through the YouTube stuff first, then you bought the course. Okay.
Just to make sure that the top flip man is who he is, and he definitely who he is.
Well, yeah. Everything is here on the channel. No course I can put together can compete with the amount of content I have on here on YouTube. I've been putting out videos since 2008. It's the date of this video is 2024. That's almost 16 years or whatever. Now the course can speed up the process of learning because the video's all over the place or whatever. So, but point being, it's all there for free is my point. So, all right. So you say, hey, okay, this sounds like something I can do. That's where I felt back then. Right. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? So what did you do? Did you do bandit sign, driving for dollars? What did you do first?
So the first thing I did, I'll give you the backtrack. It was I met this guy who was doing pre-foreclosure. I was driving, knocking on doors for him.
Oh, wow.
And I was wasting. It's like I was driving for 18 wheels. I was driving all over the place. Nothing against him. He did get me kind of, but yeah. So the next thing I did was cold calling. Right. I didn't do bandit signs. I did cold calling. And that cold calling people. And I've been cursed out, hung up on, you name it. Cold calling.
You don't find cold calling easier than door knocking?
I just hate the driving part. The door knocking is actually because you're in person, they get to see you, and calling is more random. I get that, but I just hate the driving.
Okay, I got you. Because you all over the place. You had a wide area that you all were covering. I got you. Okay, so all right, so you start cold calling. So how did that go, man?
I'm okay with rejection. I don't really get offended easy, but I'll say for anybody hearing that no for 100 times, 200 times, it can affect anybody's conscience. So it was difficult just getting told no after no. It's like you want to have a proof of concept in that process of getting it. You want to quit. You want to say no, this ain't gonna work. This is fake. How does it work? But then when you get that yes, it changes. So it was definitely difficult, and it was a struggle for sure.
Okay, so that is how you found your first lead, through cold calling?
Yes.
Okay, how did that go? Give us the backstory on that, how that went.
So I've probably been calling for 3 weeks, probably made over 200 and some calls. And then I called this one guy. I used your script. Hey, this is so-and-so. You own so-and-so 1235 Main Street. Do you want to sell your house? Yes. And I was like, what? And I already ran like a little comp thing before. I don't know how accurate it was. How much you want to sell it for? He was like 40,000, and I had it in my comps. I needed it at 50, so he was already below what I wanted. I'm just like,
Oh,
this
wow.
is. So I'm looking at my paper. I'm listening. I'm like, this is perfect. And he was like, "Are you a scammer?" I'm like, "No, sir." He was an older gentleman, maybe in his late 60s. Owned a bunch of property.
Yeah.
And did my DocuSign, sent it to him. Took him a week to sign because he didn't know how to work the laptops. He had to go get his son to do it for him. So that was a process.
Yeah.
And then because I was in your course at that point, I already had buyers waiting. So I didn't have to go find a buyer or nothing like that.
I got you.
And, I sent him the buyer the deal for 60,000. So I made 20,000 on my first deal.
We ain't gonna get ahead of us. Okay, so all right. Okay, so you called them. He's like, yeah, I want to sell it. How much? 40,000. Like, no, okay, I'm at 50. So I think it sounds like when you were making your calls, you were actually researching them before you made the call for the most part.
So I did like quick comping, just like 6%, 50% value from a Zillow price. So
okay, you just going to just use that. You can't always use that, but for just large a number of properties, that'll be easy way to just see. Hey, if I'm calling people and they say this amount, oh wait a minute, we might have something, or I'm wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, now the reason I bring that up is, and I sort of, from what you said, I assume that's what you're doing. That's a grind to do it that way. And you probably know now that don't even worry about none of that stuff, because you got to even get them on the phone. Number one, if you get them on the phone, do you even have the right person? If it is the right person, do they even want to talk to you?
Right.
If they do want to talk to you, do they want to sell? Right. Then we get into, if they do want to sell, evaluate and run, because we can always call them back or whatever. Yeah. So just to make sure people understand that process. Don't even worry about comping and all that stuff. It's so hard to get people on the phone, all that stuff. You only want to spend that time with people that actually want to sell. Right. All right. So when you finally got them to sign the agreement, boom. Or like when it happened with me, when I got that first contract, well, I sort of had two deals. I ain't gonna talk about the one that fell through, but I was just so surprised that they just signed it. I went in person to sign it. I don't even know if DocuSign and all that stuff existed back then, but I had them failed at so many things before. I really could have stopped then. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh wow, so all right, so you already had to connect with the buyer. So did you just reach out to them by phone, email, text, or well, let's go back. You said you listened to the course, so you had already sort of built a buyer's list. What methods did you use to build your buyer's list?
I used the reverse method. I can't think of the lady name that helps in the course.
Ghosty.
Yes, I went through Facebook, and they said you could hire somebody from forgot that website to help you.
Fiverr.
Yeah. I did it myself, so I would go through it. I had my script of what I would ask to sort through the fake buyers and the wholesalers, and I had a decent list. And I met this one guy who was actually in a group, was connected with a bunch of buyers, and that's how I did it. Now I will say what I didn't know, since it's my first deal. I didn't have pictures. I didn't have a rent roll. All these things I needed to have for the buyer to take me serious. Luckily, he worked with me, but I wasn't prepared. I just had a contract in my hand. I had a good deal, and
yeah.
He was like, "Where's the pictures? Where is this?" I'm like, "Oh." So that was my first experience with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So once you had it under, so once you reached out to, how many people did you reach out to before you got this guy? If that was the only person you called, and he was like, "Boom, don't show it to nobody else."
I reached out to like 4 people. He was the third one, but once he saw the address and the number, he was like, "Don't send this to nobody else. I'm a serious buyer.
Yeah,
I buy from you all the time." And to this day, he still is buying from me. So he kept his word.
Okay, so the number you put it out there at 60. Okay, and they bought it. He didn't even haggle with you on the price or anything. So what was the ARV? Do you remember what the actual ARV was on it?
I think the actual ARV was 80.
Okay, wow.
It was turnkey ready. It didn't need any work. It was
okay. So it was rented. Was it rented?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why they bought it like that. Okay, cool. All right. So took you a week to get it on the contract with your seller. right? So once that was signed, how many days after that did you have a buyer? Was it the next day, a couple of days, or what?
Because of your course, maybe 2 days.
2 days.
I've heard of people who do get the deal and then search for buyers. I'm not against that method, but I just found it's a lot more easy to dispo when you got people they buy boxes, know what they want. It's really just a conversation. Does the numbers work instead of searching and asking?
Oh yeah, you don't have to convince a buyer to make money.
Yeah,
like you said, he didn't want you to show it to anybody else. That's just where it's going to be. Not every time, but it's going to be like that almost every time. You know, hey, I'm your guy. You know what I'm saying? So, and some people will drag their feet just because of who they are as people, but for the most part, you don't have to convince them to make this trade. So, all right. So, what was the contract price? Well, what was your earnest money deposit with the seller before I go back to the seller? I mean, the buyer's contract.
So the seller, I guess I pat myself. I built great rapport, so he didn't require one, and so I put. I didn't have to put nothing down for the EMD at all. So that was
different. All right. That's what's up. All right. So with the buyer, what contract did you? Well, I'm assuming you used my contract with the seller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what contract you used with the buyer? Or they had their own, or what?
He sent me something. I forgot. It's been so long. It was some stipulation in there. If I didn't perform on my end, I would owe him. It was something crazy. I guess because I was the first time working with him. Yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's 20,000. Like, let me just get to the paper. So I can't remember what it was. But it was something with a stipulation against me in there. It was his contract I used.
Okay. All right. How much earnest money with him? $1,000. Okay.
Yeah. He said he got burnt by wholesalers in the past. So I mean, I kind of understood that.
Yeah. He let his title company, whoever hold it. Ain't no big deal about that. Right. All right. So 2 or 3 days later, you had a contract with your buyer. How long did it take to close it?
We closed in 2 weeks. He's pretty fast. He went sent his GC general contractor out there to look at the property.
Yeah.
As soon as he got done, he called me. I want it. Can we close in 2 weeks? Seller was like, absolutely. We used Palmer Law in Alabama. I mean, it was a quick, fast.
Oh, this deal was in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that part.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, this deal was in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. No, that's funny.
I picked your market.
Yeah. Jeff Palmer. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So, no, that's funny. You remember what part of town? You remember Zip? I know it's been a long time.
Well, I can say it's on my soul now. 508 Avenue Z.
That's Inslee. Yeah. Okay. That's Inslee. You got to know. Well, actually, that's probably more. Well, they call it in. It could be Pratt City Inslee over there where J.O. High School is. It should be over that area. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. No, that's funny, man. So, all right. So, okay. So you targeted Birmingham. You made it happen here. So I'm assuming you never saw the property. You never came down here or none of that or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's beautiful. All right. So how did you handle your boots on the ground as far as showing the property, all of that, or the seller was just so cool because you had built rapport with him or whatever, or what?
That too, and I also used another method I learned in your course. I went on Facebook and asked, I need boots on the ground in Alabama.
Yeah.
Boom. And then the seller also, he didn't mind going down there and taking pictures for me, but I need better pictures. So I used our method. I found a person on Facebook to go do it.
I got you. Cool. All right. So closing day, how did that go down? If you remember.
So one thing I've learned, so I don't have a TC, but I learned that you got to keep every 2 weeks you check in with your seller because obviously you can't just get them on a contract and go ghost and then on closing day, hey, go pick up your money. So I kept every 2 days calling him, and then he knew exactly what he was gonna get because I was scared. Like, man, what if he sees how much I'm making? But I found out now if you're pretty honest with the seller through the process, now if it's something like 200,000, I mean, you might want to double close. But other than that, I mean, most sellers don't they get what they want. No big deal. So
that's the way I've always. You don't watch my stuff. You know I didn't say it. Everybody getting what they was promised in the deal. Now you're gonna always have people that are unreasonable. always, right? You know what I'm saying? But most people, I wanted 40,000. I know you're not doing this for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm assuming you got a bank wire when it closed.
Yes.
Okay.
I did a check, not this deal, another deal, and I took it to the bank, and they had to make you wait 5 days. So I do all bank wires now. So everything.
Yeah. You don't never want to get a paper check, man. Never. Unless it ain't a big deal, boy, you might want to do it for whatever reason. But other than that, man, bank wires, man, ain't nothing to think about on that. So, all right. So you closed that first deal. Like, man, this is real, right? What was your next move after that? How did you proceed after that? Because you're in Nashville. You know, Nashville, number one, the city is bigger, right? And it's a hotter city as far as, you know, growth or whatever. So, but not to get ahead of myself, what was your next move after that? You seen it was real. You got the bread. What was your next move after that?
So the first thing when it hit my account, you know, I didn't make some money before, but I ain't never made no $20,000 like that. And I just sat in my car, kind of just like you say it's real, but it's like it's proof of concept.
Yeah.
But my first thing was I didn't want to, as they say, a bootstrap, like start from scratch over. So I didn't want to go out and buy something stupid, go buy bottles. Like,
no. Oh my God, no.
First thing I did, I hired out. I wanted to replace myself, so I hired some VAs to do cold calling for me.
Okay.
Didn't want to do that no more. So that's the first thing I did, hire some VAs to start calling for me. So now all I get is inbound leads, form leads per se. So.
Form lead, yeah. So when you get on the phone, you know they want to sell. Is now is the price work, you know? So exactly. I got you. So did you continue to target Birmingham, or did you more focus on somewhere else?
So I'm in 4 markets now. I'm in St. Louis, Birmingham, Memphis, and Nashville.
Okay.
So,
all right. Cool.
4 markets I'm doing deals in.
And just still most of the houses?
I actually did one lot. I talked to you about that a while ago in Birmingham. I want to get more into lots, but I ain't been too lucky into them, but I'm trying to get more into lots.
Well, actually, the reason I'm here at the office today, I just recorded a video to come out before yours. I'm doing a more detailed video on that to make it sort of easier to target those. And I'm gonna try to put out a day. I know we're sitting here talking about it, but ain't no big deal. Y'all know how I get down. So, but yeah, that video should be coming out today. So when you see this, that video would already be out. Yeah, but man, that's amazing, man. So in that time frame, you're in 4 markets. You obviously have a cookie cutter approach that you're using. What would you like to share with anyone that's trying to get started in this? You know, just forget about me and what I offer or whatever. More so on, you know, it ain't easy, but it's so worth it. Now, once you, the main thing, like that first deal, some people it's easy now. That first deal can be easy. It can be misleading at the same time because it really happened. It happened for me fast. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to use that as an example. Now, my check wasn't 20 grand. It was only 2,500 or whatever, but it might as well have been 250,000 because like, I'm like you, oh, this works. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I ain't put, I don't even remember. I think I put $10 in the deal. You put 0 or whatever. That's infinite. You can't even put a rate of a return on investment on that when you spend 0 and $20,000 shows up. You know what I'm saying? You can't even put a number on that on what the return is. You just had time invested or whatever. But what would you like to share with people that's, you know, wanting to get into this, man, just starting out, and what the expectation should be and what's real?
I want to say it's not a get rich quick scheme. It does take work. Even now, being months in and closing multiple deals, even now, like it's work. It's not like it took me, like I said, maybe a month I had to get my first deal. But I know some people who took years, right? It's just like you got to have tough skin. Don't think it's going to come easy because it's a continual grind, but it's rewarding, right? It's worth the grind. But if you think you just going to call somebody, get a deal, has that happened before? I've heard those unicorn stories, but that's the wrong mindset to go into. Definitely expect to get told no multiple times, hung up on, called names, maybe got bandit signs, nobody calls you for weeks. I don't know. But if you go into this with this mindset of it's just going to happen, you're gonna be doing something different real quick. Cause that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not how it works.
It's the long game, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a marathon. Real estate in general, you have to have a really good degree of patience. Now, again, it happened for you pretty fast. It happened for me pretty fast. So, we can't, say that can't happen to somebody, but don't expect that is the point. Don't expect that, whatever. But, man, my first 2 calls were deals. One of them blew up in my face, but I had the money in my hand. My first 2 calls were deal. One of them was the lease option. They would come from bandit signs, though. One of them was the lease option, and one of them was the actual deal I closed. The lease option, I had to end up giving the money back because the seller flipped out on us or whatever. But she had actually gave me $100 bills as a down payment on that property or whatever. That happened before the deal that closed or whatever. So, I'm glad I had that. So I often wonder, would I have kept it up if I, because I gave the lady her money back. Would I have continued if I didn't have that second deal, lined up or whatever, but we won't ever know that now. But man, Will, I'm glad we put this together, man. Didn't know you was down here getting down. Obviously, you don't need me.
I'm gonna come holler at you next time I'm down. I check on some of the properties now. I'm trying to get more on the investor side, but next time
I got you. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you got to hit me up, man. And so hey, down here just grinding in the ham or whatever. So but yeah, I really appreciate it, man. You know what? I got one on you. I got one on you though. So Clarksville, that's outside of Nashville, right?
45 minutes, 40 minutes, yep.
Yeah. The very first self-storage deal I did wholesale right there in Clarksville. Never said it. It was a 6-figure deal. So I split with somebody with another person, but so I guess I can let you have a little of the ham. You know what I'm saying? So
that's my area.
Yeah. All right. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you sharing your time with us, man. Love the story, man. I'm glad we finally put it together. So, guys, you could do this too. We're no smarter than you are or whatever. Only thing we've done is taken some information and actually applied it. But you got to have the patience to understand that this could be life-changing.
Yeah.
And financially, anyway, life-changing financially. Nothing prevents you from doing it also. And you have the entire country to work with. As I said, I'm coming out with that land video, that vacant lot video. It'll be out before this one. And so, hey, that's going to be another opportunity you can take advantage of. So again, Will, I appreciate you, man, for sharing your story, your experience. And as always, like to say, guys, thanks. And we will see you on the FLIPSIDE.
Good man.